Making a choice can sometimes be really hard. And when those kind of hard choices arise, it's good to have a plan in place that you can just go, I've got a way to deal with this in my toolbox, and just go down and pick it out and go, okay, this is what I need to do. These are the steps I need to go through. And so this has come up because I have had to make a choice recently. And I'm going to tell you about that choice, and I'm going to tell you the 6 steps that I used to make this choice easier, even though it was a really hard choice. So, I'm Lucy, holistic peak performance coach and speaker. And the choice was about a house. And it is a beautiful house. The challenges that started to come up as I was looking at purchasing this house got more and more and bigger, and I felt heavier and heavier. And I went through a process that I use to work out how I was feeling and what that looked like to me. And the feeling was very heavy at this stage. It's about probably 3.5 months into the purchasing process. So it's like right at the end. And I'd got in the specialist, I got in the surveyor and the builder and all of those things to look at it. I'd got the conveyancer working. So I've not only put emotional energy, I put money and I've put time into this and have really paid my dues towards making sure this is the right choice for myself and for my son. And so this heaviness was really weighing me down. I felt like this heaviness on my shoulders. And for me, when I went through the process that I take other people through when they're feeling in a certain way, it doesn't matter how they're feeling, but just the same process, it looked like a big, heavy, those big, great big link chains, really thick, like weighing down an anchor was what was around my neck. So that's, if you can imagine that, that's how it felt, this heavy chain weighing me down. And then on the other side, there was a part of me that saw the house as I first saw it, which was like, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's got space, it's got a lovely garden, and it had so many things that had been looking for and was looking for. There was still a lot of work to be done. It needed renovating on the inside downstairs. There's a shed that needed doing up. I needed a garage built. So there were lots of different areas that I knew I needed to then work on once I got into the house. And it got to the stage, as I said, with all of these other things on top of all of that, as I was looking at this, that I was feeling this heaviness. So I was like, okay, I need to make a choice. The choice is either to get this house or to start looking and go for another house. So the very first thing I knew I was doing, I was trusting the process. So this is the first thing. Am I trusting? So ask yourself, am I trusting? Am I trusting that everything is going to be okay when I move forwards? I've packed up boxes, ready to move. I was right on the moment of going, yep, move me in, come and pick up the boxes, come and pick up the furniture. And so I was right there. I was trusting the process. And it felt really good to be able to have that trust. And then short term, I was out of a rented place and into my own place. So that felt really good as well. So, yes, there's another tick in the box. Is it feeling and looking good short term? For me on this decision, yes. So that's the second thing. So, first, are you trusting? Second, is it looking good short term? Yes. And then the next one, is it from my perspective? Is it what I want? Has it got all the things I need? Right? So, from my perspective, like I said, it had room. It had the number of rooms. It had more reception rooms than I wanted. It had a lovely big garden. It had a great aspect from everywhere, all sides of the house. It was in a beautiful situation out in the country. And so, yeah, from my perspective, I could deal with the renovation over time. That was absolutely fine. There were a couple of things that were still niggling at me, and I was looking into those, and they became challenges. So they were a couple of the things started to pile up. And then the next thing is the timing right? So is the timing right for the choice that you need to make? For me, the timing was absolutely right and is absolutely right. I am ready to get out of this house and to buy my own house. And so, yeah, the timing is absolutely right. Tick in the box. And then the next thing was long term. Long term, is this the right place to get? Is this the right choice at this time in my life? How long am I going to be living with that choice? And do I want it to be for the rest of my life, or do I want it to be for a certain number of years or decades? And then I'm going to have to make another choice. So that's where I started to look at, I'm not sure if this is the right choice. Because long term, I wasn't 100% sure. And actually, the sixth thing was before that, just before I looked at that number, I looked at my values. And I might have said this in another video, but values are so important. And one of the values that wasn't stacking up for me was my value of freedom. And the value of freedom to be able to do what I wanted to be able to do without having to ask anybody most of the time. In this house, because it's rented, when I'm in a rented house, I can't do what I want to do because it's somebody else's house. In the house I was looking at, it's listed. And so you always have to be asking. In a listed property, you always have to ask, is it okay if I... And I didn't realize when I started to look at it, how deep that goes. It's not just on the outside of the house, it's also on the inside of the house. And right down to if you do some repair work and you replace part of the wall and it's something like lath and plaster, you have to ask if it's okay to replace it with plasterboard. I don't want to have to be doing that. That's not freedom to me. So I had a choice, having gone through all of those. So if I just go through those again for you, it is long term, is it good? Short term, is it good? My own perspective. Am I trusting? Is the timing right? And does it line up to all my values? And if it doesn't line up to all of them, but that you can make it, well, if it lines up with my top four, not my top five, is that actually okay? So you make the choice then based on all of those six things. And that's what I've done. And so today I made the choice to start looking for other properties, and two popped up straight away that I was like, I like the look of both of those. They're in the same price range. They're the same distance away from where I am now. And I sent the email to say, I have chosen and I have made the decision, hard decision though it might be. And it has been a very hard decision to make because of all of the stuff I've gone through emotionally, mentally, financially, time-wise, to make that decision. But it had to come down to, I'm the only one that can make that decision. So the choice and how to make that hard choice was made easier because I had all of those six steps and I went through all six steps. There were a couple I was missing to start with. I wasn't looking at the long term for myself and my family. And when I looked at the values, it became very apparent about why it was feeling so heavy with me. And so I offer those 6 things for you when you have a hard choice to make, when you need to have perhaps some new perspectives and create that lightness, create from those difficult decisions the lightness that comes at the end of making that choice, knowing that you have a choice. It's a yes, it's a no, it's a this, it's a that. There's a choice, but making the choice on your own terms and using these 6 steps is really helpful. There'll be another video coming up on screen. I look forward to seeing you over there, and have the most awesome day. Remember to take notes, take action, teach others, and you will thrive. Bye for now.